Good afternoon. The Senate Committee on Natural Resources will now come to order. Members, as this is a new format, please remember to mute your microphone when you are not speaking. At this moment, I will proceed to call roll. Please respond affirmatively as I call your name. Our secretary will keep note for those of you who are present. Beginning first, Senator Brooks.
Here.
Senator Goycochea.
Here.
Senator Hansen.
Here.
Senator Schiebel.
Here.
Thank you. And for the record, I am here as well. So welcome everyone to the first meeting of the Senate Committee on Natural Resources for the 2021 legislative session. Before we begin, I would like to explain how our virtual committee meetings will work. And since this is a new process for all of us and for those of you that are watching, as you know, the legislative building is currently closed to the public. So all committee meetings will be held virtually, meaning that committee members, staff, and everyone else will participate either through Zoom video conference or by telephone. However, there are various ways that members of the public can engage with us and participate throughout this process. As in previous sessions, all committee-related material and information is available on a Nevada Electronic Legislative Information System, commonly known as NELIS, which is accessible from the legislature's website. There are four main ways that you can engage with our committee, and this includes either by registering to participate in a committee meeting through the NELIS system, which places you in line to testify on a bill or provide public comment during the meeting, submitting written testimony to the committee via email address or fax on the number listed on the agenda, sharing your opinion via the legislature's opinion application on NELIS, or viewing the committee meetings online through NELIS or on the legislator's YouTube channel. To testify on a bill or provide public comment during the 2021 legislative session, members of the public must first register for the meeting you would like to participate in. Committee meetings are listed in several places on NELIS. To register, simply click on the participate button near the meeting date and time, then fill out your required information such as your name, the agenda item that you're interested in, and your position on the bill. And once you do this, you can submit your registration and you will see a confirmation screen that details in an email what phone number and the meeting ID you need to call into the meeting. And just as a note for all of you today, while the meeting registration is required to participate, it does not guarantee you a spot to be able to speak. Similar to previous sessions, testimony and public comment may be limited due to time constraints. And when you are on the phone, please pay attention to which bill is being considered when bills are being listed on the meeting's agenda, and follow the prompts that provided by broadcast and production services so that you know which keys to press and how to raise your hand or unmute yourself. No bills will be heard today, so BPS staff will be on call, will call on you to speak by the last three digits of your phone number. And there are detailed instructions for participating in committee meetings are also available on the help page, which is linked at the banner at the top of every page on NELIS. And if you ever need any assistance on any of these processes, or if you'd simply like to receive electronic notification of the committee's agendas and minutes, always feel free to please contact our committee manager at the committee email that is listed on the agenda. So now that we have taken care of logistics and got that out of the way, let's go around and do a few quick introductions. I'll go first. So my name is Fabian Donate. I am the representative for Senate District 10 in the heart of Las Vegas. My district oversees parts of the Las Vegas Strip and Central Vegas. So that's where I'm from and raised. The Clark County Board of Commissioners appointed me last week on Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021, to fill the vacancy left by former Senator Ivana Cancela. And I am actually really honored to represent Senate District 10 and to serve as a committee chair. Personally, for me, my career and my educational background is in the field of public health. And as many of you know, climate change and environmental justice falls alongside the scope of the committee. Most of my exposure to natural resources has actually been through my experiences visiting state and national parks. I'm a big fan of hiking, canoeing, really any outdoor recreational sport, but I always said that if public health didn't work out for me, that my full-time job would be as a landscape and wildlife photographer. So I recognize that we will have plenty of time throughout this legislative session to discuss issues on conservation and the environment. but I vow to you all today that I will serve with dignity and integrity, and I will do my best to work across party lines and to serve the people of Nevada. My main concern throughout this whole time will be to protect and defend those who are routinely forgotten, and I will always try to uplift indigenous lands and populations. And I think that's an important conversation moving forward. So next, I will introduce to you our committee staff and give all the committee members an opportunity to introduce themselves. A vital part of the committee is the staff. And I would like to welcome you, some of the Senate Committee on Natural Resources. So first, we have Alan Emburn. He is the committee counsel. This is his third legislative session, and he will be staffing both the Assembly and the Senate committees on natural resources. And beyond that, we have Jennifer Rudy, who is a committee policy analyst. This is her 13th legislative session, but her first staffing the Senate Committee on Natural Resources. So we're very honored to have their support during this process. And while you will see Mr. Amber and Ms. Rudy on most days on Zoom for the meetings, many of our staff will be working behind the scenes. My right hand, Roberta Cox, is working her first legislative session, and Ms. Cox will serve in dual roles as a committee manager and as my legislative assistant. She has 25 years of experience as a public school teacher, and she retired in June 2020 from the Hawaii Department of Education. She is excited to work for the state legislature, and she's just been an instrumental part of our team. And we also have with us today Christine Miner, who is working on her fourth legislative session as committee secretary. She retired from retail property management and moved to the Carson Valley in 2013 to share a beautiful property with her husband for 36 years. So again, I look forward to working with all of our staff and communicating between all of us. So now I would like to recognize some of the committee members to add their own introductions, starting with what district they represent. If you can please note your background with natural resources, that'd be great as well. And to make this a little bit fun as a bonus question, if you can please share with us your favorite state park, hiking trail, or your favorite animal. Let's start with my Vice Chair, Senator Schiebel, and then we'll proceed alphabetically.
All right, thank you so much, Chair. My name is Melanie Scheibel. I represent Senate District 9 in the southwest part of the Las Vegas Valley. And I was honored to serve as chair last year of the Natural Resources Committee, and I insisted on coming back this year. And I'm honored to be the vice chair this year and to get to work with these amazing senators, colleagues, staff, members of BPS, and all of you who are watching. I've brought a representative of my favorite animal with me. This is a bighorn sheep. I've yet to see one in District 9, but that is my lifelong dream. And I think it could happen because it does border the Red Rock Canyon, the Spring Mountain conservation areas where rumor has it some bighorn sheep do live.
Great, thank you. Senator Goicoechea.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator Pete Goicoechea, representing Senate District 19. And I think this is my 10th regular session, and I'm not sure how many specials. So I've been here longer than the dirt, I think. So other than that, I represent the eastern side of the state, which is predominantly rural. I'm a third generation rancher, been involved in natural resource issues all my life. And Natural Resource Committee is, I believe I've served on it in either in the Assembly or the Senate my whole career, and look forward to working with you great people, the same people who I've worked with over the years, a number of you, and welcome the new chair. I'm sure he will do a great job for us. Extremely well spoken. I think we all agree on that, and that will help. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator. And your favorite state animal or hiking trail or state park?
I don't know. I've put down horse tracks on a lot of Nevada, so I guess I'd have to say the horse.
Great, thank you. Senator Hansen.
Well, thanks, Chair. Congratulations. I want to also thank you very much for reaching out and coming and visiting with me today. So, well, am I still muted? Can you hear me? Unmute. Nope, sorry about that. Am I unmuted
good
now? Good. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for coming to my office today and introducing yourself and getting an opportunity to get to know each other a little bit. I appreciate that. And to former Chair Scheibel, she did a great job last year. And like you, honestly, she was a freshman too. So you guys have a lot in common when it comes to all of a sudden really getting thrown from the pan into the fire or whatever that saying is, because it's a hard job, it really is. So, and she did an excellent job, I will say in all sincerity. Very much appreciated that. My background, born and raised in Nevada. My children actually, through their mother, are sixth generation Nevadans. I'm a third generation Nevadan. My background as far as natural resources, I'm an avid hunter, sportsman, fisherman, trapper. I've done all that my whole life. Love the state, spent a tremendous amount of time literally living in the backcountry, mainly in the winter months. My favorite trails, I'm like Senator Goycochea, like I've been all over this place. If I had to pick my favorite area though, it would probably be up in the Jarbidge Wilderness. That part of the state, Copper Basin and that area, Bruno River country, absolutely drop dead gorgeous. And for Vice Chair Scheibel, if you want to see some bighorn sheep, we got a ton of them all over the place. We can take you on a tour. I've got some, actually Senator Goycochea's got some guides actually. Of course, they're hunting guides, but they'd love to take you on a photography type thing or whatever. Lots and lots of bighorns in Nevada now. And there's some absolutely beautiful rams out there that would make your day. As far as my favorite animal, I was laughing because I'm actually a commercial user of animals. I think in my lifetime, believe it or not, the animal that if I had to pick one animal, it would be the muskrat. I'm serious. I have studied them and done a lot of time with muskrats. Of the more exotic ones that are cool that people go, I like that, like bighorns, bobcats. Spent a lot of time studying them and their habitat and learned to really be fascinated by all the predatory species in Nevada, coyotes, mountain lions, bobcats, kit fox, gray fox, red fox now in northern Nevada. So that's kind of my background. As far as legislatively, I represent District 32. That's 38,000 square miles. It includes 7 counties. And people like me are a lot more common, you might say, in those parts of the state than, say, in Clark County. But I would probably be a pretty representative sample on the kind of interests that I have. Issues, too, that are super important to me are issues like mining, because that's a huge employer. In fact, in most of my counties, that is the #1 industry there. And then all the outdoor issues. I just love being in the outdoors. I'm born and raised here, Sagebrush State. And, sagebrush is literally our state flower. And I actually like that. In fact, if I had if my legislative assistant wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind having the odor of sagebrush in here all the time to remind me of how big and beautiful our state is and how much of it's covered by that plant. So anyway, Mr. Chair, pardon me for rambling a little bit, but those are my favorite things, my favorite parts of the state. I do honestly just love Nevada. The people that are my heroes in this state are the people that have served it so nobly, going clear back to 1864. So a lot of history involved and a deep, sincere love of the outdoors and the wildlife communities, the plant communities. I'm familiar with a lot of it. Although I am actually a plumber and a high school graduate, I have worked very hard to educate myself on the animal species, the biology behind it. And as you'll see during the session, I'm not afraid to share my opinions with the committee as well. So thank you, Mr. Chair, and congratulations. It's really an honor to be only 24 years old and be in the position that you hold. Somebody along the way said, this kid is a sharp kid. I'll bet you $100 if you want to stay in politics, give you another 10 years, I'll be talking to Governor Donate or United States Senator Donate. I'm not just flattering you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator Hansen. Senator Scheibel.
You mean Senator Brooks?
Sorry, my apologies. Senator Brooks.
We're constantly getting confused, the two of us constantly get mixed up. But, thank you, Chair Donate. My name is Senator Chris Brooks. I represent Senate District 3, which is right in the heart of Las Vegas, where I was born and raised. But my family has been in Nevada and in rural Nevada for 70 years and still out there. My great-grandfather and my grandfather are buried in Nye County, and I have my grandmother and several aunts and uncles still live in rural Nevada. And and I come, my mother's side, her whole family going back about 7 generations, cattle ranchers. And so while I'm born and raised in Las Vegas, I really have quite a love and appreciation for the lifestyles of the folks who live in other parts of the state besides urban areas of Nevada. And so this committee is just a fascinating committee because it just touches so many different areas of the state and so many aspects of the state that I love so much. And I'm a hunter and a fisherman and a sportsman and love camping and all things Nevada and take advantage of our natural resources. And my favorite animal would probably have to be my son's Australian Shepherd, because he lives with me and I fell in love with that dog. But my favorite Nevada animal would be our beautiful bighorn sheep. And I've seen plenty of them around southern Nevada and central and northern Nevada my whole life. And they're a majestic animal. They represent our state so well. And I think the most beautiful place in the entire state of Nevada is Red Rock Canyon, which is just, miles from my home. So I'm a little partial because I was born and raised right there, but I think it's the most beautiful part of the state of Nevada. I look forward to serving with Senator Hansen again, Senator Gokochia again, and Senator Scheibel again. I was on this committee last session, and I was on natural resources in the assembly as well.
Great, thank you, Senator Brooks, for that. At this moment in time, we thank you all, by the way, for introducing yourselves, and I'm sure we'll have plenty of more discussions regarding our favorite trails and everything. So thank you for that. At this moment in time, we will proceed to adopt the committee rules. The proposed committee rules have been posted as an exhibit on the meeting's webpage, and members should have had a chance to review them. At this moment in time, I will accept a motion to adopt the committee rules.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
A second?
Thank you. Is there any discussion regarding the committee rules?
Just for our secretary's benefit, I guess it'll be pretty easy to tell when I'm speaking since I am the only woman on this committee. But that was my motion.
Great, thank you.
Senator,
at this time,
Senator, this is Christine. I did not hear the second motion, the second on the motion.
That was Senator Brooks.
Thank you.
thank you for that. At this moment in time, we will proceed to do, seeing that there's no discussion at this moment in time, we will proceed to do a roll call vote to approve the committee rules. So beginning with an alphabetical order, if you can please unmute yourself, and rather than saying yay or nay, if you can please say yes or no, so that we can go ahead and record that for the secretary. First up is Senator Brooks.
Yes.
Thank you. Senator Gokochia.
Yes.
Thank you. Senator Hansen.
Yes.
Thank you. Senator Scheibel.
Yes.
Thank you. And the motion carries. Great. So now that we got that out of the way, we can begin with business. So it is customary at this first committee meeting for the committee policy analyst to present a committee brief. I have asked Ms. Rudy to do so now. So Ms. Rudy, if you're ready, let's.
Thank you, Chair Donate. My name is Jennifer Rudy, and I am a Chief Principal Policy Analyst with the Research Division of the Legislative Council Bureau. I have been with the Research Division since 2001. I worked 3 sessions prior to that for the Assembly and the Senate. The LCB is a nonpartisan agency, and as such, I neither oppose nor advocate for legislation. My job is to help the committee process the bills that it will be referred and to provide the policy and research assistance that you will need to make informed decisions. Please find your committee brief on Nellis, but I think I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to walk you through the document. Hopefully everybody can see that. So on the first substantive page of the committee brief, there is an introduction of the committee staff, which actually the chair has already done for today, which is wonderful. And then the next section is the committee jurisdiction. And bills are referred to the committee by a vote of the Senate according to guidelines prepared by the Senate leadership. Those guidelines are found in rule number 40 of the Senate standing rules adopted on the first day of session. And that measure was Senate Resolution 1. And rule number 40 sets forth the respective jurisdiction for the reference of bills and resolutions to each of the 10 Senate committees. So this table is really just trying to make the information in rule number 40 for referral of measures to the Senate Committee on Natural Resources a little more user-friendly by providing hyperlinks to each of the different chapters and kind of spelling out what the chapters are. I believe the only new chapter for this committee was chapter 407 related to AB 486 of the 2019 session that created the Division of Outdoor Recreation. Quite a lot of chapters. And then the next section is bills referred to the committee. And so far there have been 11 bills referred to the committee. And 9 of those were pre-filed. And there is a list with hyperlinks to access more information about each of those bills if you should have any questions about those bills. And most importantly, and I noticed in the chair's background of his office, he has the 120-day calendar right there next to him. So almost like a prop for this part. The session deadlines, which were taken from your 120-day calendar. And these are those deadlines that are most important to the committee. So the April 9th deadline is that which all bills must be passed, if at all, out of the House of Origin. And I'm sorry, out of the committee of reference in the first house. And then following that April 9th deadline, you will often see that a lot of the committees will cancel meetings, not all their meetings, but they may cancel a lot of their meetings in order to accommodate the very long floor sessions that will take place trying to get those bills out of the House of Origin by April 20th. And then again, we repeat that entire process with the second house's bills, starting with the May 14th deadline for getting the bills out of the committee of reference in the second house, and then May 21st for getting the bills out of the second house. And then of course, May 31st, sine die. The bill statistics are from the 2019 legislative session, so many of you should be pretty familiar with these. There were 54 total bills referred to the Senate Committee on Natural Resources. So if we get approximately the same number of bills referred to the committee this session, I'm figuring that would be approximately 2 bills that would need to be heard each meeting from now until the first deadline. And so I think that's very, very manageable. One thing I wanted to point out is the summary of legislation. If you are at all interested in the 2019 legislation that was passed, the summary of legislation is a compilation of basically the floor statements from every single measure that was passed in 2019, and it's put together in a nice bound volume. It's also linked here if you would like to access that electronically. The potential topics for the 2021 session haven't really changed since last session. Some of them are listed here, some ideas. And then relevant reports and publications. There are more reports and publications out there than most of you will probably have time to read, especially in a 120-day session. But I just wanted to go ahead and highlight a few of those. There are various reports that are provided from outside agencies to the legislature. And those, if you click on that first link under reports to the legislature, that is where we compile all of those. Then the research division publications are, for example, the final reports of interim committees are referred to as bulletins. And many of these should be actually very familiar to you because I believe wildfire, I think the majority of this committee was on the wildfires interim study. Senators Brooks, Goycochea, and Scheibel. Then the public lands, again, the majority of the committee, I think Senators Goycochea, Hansen, and Scheibel were all on public lands. Tahoe, I don't believe any of these committee members were on that committee. The Committee on High-Level Radioactive Waste was chaired by Senator Brooks. And the water study, I included this even though it is from 4 years ago, because it was a pretty comprehensive interim study on water, which is a very, very complex subject. And that was, I believe there were 2 members on that committee. I know Senator Goycochea chaired that interim study, but that is another good one to open up and look through for some background on water. Additionally, there are research division publications related to natural resources that may be found through this website. Audits by the executive and legislative branches, I kind of combed through those for both the legislative auditor and those from the Division of Internal Audits to find any that might be related to the work of this committee, and went ahead and included them here in case you're interested in those. And then I just really want to say that the mission of the research division is to serve the Nevada legislature and its standing and interim committees in a professional, nonpartisan manner by providing useful, accurate, and timely information concerning public policy issues. And we are available to provide the Senate Committee on Natural Resources and its members with research and policy assistance on any issue related to matters before the committee. We also provide individual members of the legislature with research and information on a confidential basis on any topic. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I haven't worked with the Senate Committee on Natural Resources before. The last time I worked with Natural Resources was way back in 2007 and 2009 with the Assembly Committee on Natural Resources. So I'm looking forward to returning to natural resources. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Ms. Rudy. Does anyone in the committee have any questions for her right now? Seeing none, thank you again, Ms. Rudy, for your time, and we appreciate this short presentation. At this moment in time, I will now call for public comment. Please remember to limit your comments up to 2 minutes. BPS staff will be here to assist. BPS staff, is there any public comment at this time?
Thank you so much, Chair. The public line is open and working. However, there are no callers at this time.
Great, thank you for that. So seeing that there is no public comment, I hope that everyone who's tuning in enjoys the short meeting and that the senators get some free time after this. So at this moment in time, members, are there any comments before we adjourn? Seeing none. So just for clarification and for purposes of scheduling, our next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, February 11th at 3:30 p.m. So it's this coming Thursday, and we have the plan right now of hearing 2 bills. Those 2 bills are Senate Bill 33 and 43. So if you have any questions, feel free to connect with us offline and share any questions or concerns. But for now, we say goodbye, and this meeting is now officially adjourned. Thank you.